So Sheryl Swoopes is at it again. And by at it again, I mean she's running her mouth. This time she's coming after Sophie Cunningham. We all know Sophie Cunningham sent a pretty loud message. By the way, a message that wouldn't have been needed had the WNBA referees done their job during that Connecticut Sun-Indiana Fever game, instead of just being like, nothing to see here. We'll just let everybody that assaulted Caitlin Clark just stay in this game.
What happens if a legendary player in the WNBA decides she can no longer stand the tough girl attitude in minor infractions? Sophie Cunningham was verbally reprimanded by Sheryl Swoopes for playing bodyguard rather than basketball. Like the most courteous chaos magnet in the world, Caitlin Clark's name was pulled straight into the center. Don't assume that the drama is over just yet. There's more heat in this fight than in a microwave burrito. Stay put. This one is messy, hot, and strangely intimate.
Favorite person in the WNBA. It's been a minute, but I mean, there's been so many things going on of late that, not talking about her. God, I almost feel bad that I've neglected her. Like my neglecting. I'm sorry. Sheryl Swoopes, I am so sorry for having neglected you. Not really. I should have been talking about you more in the dumb shit that you do, the dumb shit that you say, but I haven't. I try to let that stuff slide off, because it gets a little redundant when you constantly have to remind people about what a fucking idiot this woman is. But
At last, it took place. This is the moment that all WNBA drama fans have been salivating over. Not a bench-clearing altercation or an unexpected mid-season move, but something much more dramatic. By blasting Sophie Cunningham, Sheryl Swoopes, yes, that's Sheryl Swoopes, she used to dive right into the reality TV meets sports world. Why? Because Sophie had the courage to support Caitlin Clark, play physically, and embrace herself. Oh, the terror.
Sheryl Swoopes, back in the news, getting pushback from fans, calling out Lexi Hall, Sophie Cunningham, calling out Stephanie White. Oh, I don't know about coaching decisions, blah, 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 blah. Sheryl Swoopes, what do you have to say for yourself?
It seems that the WNBA has reached a point where it is illegal to protect a teammate, particularly if that teammate is Caitlin Clark, the walking headline machine who can make threes with her eyes closed and still get elbowed for breath. Here comes Sophie Cunningham, who had the audacity to wait for it, live intensely on the court.
By and large, that hadn't happened until the other night when Sophie Cunningham gave J.C. Sheldon the Steven Seagal Aikido move at the end of the game. And everybody lost their minds. Now, keep in mind, this is Sheryl Swoopes hating ass, lovingly hugging Angel Reese. And the reason I'm showing this is because Angel Reese gave Caitlin Clark the clothesline from hell last year. Angel Reese celebrated Kennedy Carter's slam in to Caitlin Clark. All right? Angel Reese racially shaded Caitlin Clark earlier in the year in a social media post, talking about she was too scared.
That's just too much, Swoopes says. Too filthy, too combative, and way too encouraging because, for heaven's sake, no one would remain devoted to the league's most fouled player without being snubbed by the self-appointed Hall of Morality.
That's neither here nor there. Let's talk about what's going on right now with Sheryl Swoopes, or what's not going on with Sheryl Swoopes. Does she even have a job now? Like, does she even have a job? Did all of her disdain and public scrutiny and public hate for Caitlin Clark get her fired from everything? Hey man, you said it with your chest, and now you gotta eat the consequences of your words, because your words are not for the benefit of the WNBA.
Sophie stood her ground on the court, drawing strong reactions from basketball purists who saw her physical play as excessive. Her bold defense and sharp commentary, more like a playful roast than analysis, sparked debate. Despite playing tough but fair, setting hard screens and boxing out, critics acted as if she'd committed a major foul simply for challenging Caitlin Clark. The backlash, especially from former stars, seemed more about protecting image than addressing real gameplay.
Tomorrow, you're on the Las Vegas Strip. What are you going to be on Las Vegas expect yourself?
Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna be me. I don't go in there trying to predetermine anything. I'm dialed in. I need to focus on my shots, making sure I'm executing the schemes right. I'm not focused on the extracurricular activities. And you know what? During that, it was just part of the game. I think the refs had a lot to do with that. It was a build-up for a couple of years now of them just not protecting, the star player of the WNBA. And so, at the end of the day, I'm gonna protect my teammates. That's what I do, and I'm a team player.
Suddenly, toughness is controversial and grit is the villain. In a league that celebrates strength, so long as it's smiling, Sophie Cunningham has become a lightning rod. WNBA legend Sheryl Swoopes, with a resume full of gold medals and championships, stepped in to criticize Sophie for plays that wouldn't raise eyebrows in most sports. What followed felt less like critique and more like a smear campaign, as if Sophie had personally insulted her legacy. Social media ran wild. Screens became crimes, comments turned into courtrooms, and fans acted like forensic analysts breaking down every frame. Ironically, Sheryl's name started trending not for her iconic career, but for a casual takedown that went viral. The drama was as entertaining as it was petty. Less post-game analysis, more roast battle that somehow landed on ESPN. Sophie, to her credit, stayed boldly average in the most confrontational way possible, while Caitlin Clark looked like she'd stumbled into a Real Housewives reunion. Judging by the outrage, you'd think Sophie brought a steel chair to the game. Spoiler, she didn't. Still, Sheryl Swoopes called her out like she found the league's new villain, while ignoring the constant hits Caitlin has taken all season: body slams, hip checks, and low-key MMA moves, with barely a whisper in response.
Definitely the W, especially if Sophie Cunningham is going to continue to fight people for messing with Caitlin Clark, because it feels like Caitlin Clark is going to get treated in a certain way in this league for a long time. She's not a rookie anymore. Okay? She's already proved herself. She's won. And then there were some, ladies last night that were trying to go a little physical. And in last year, I think something we noticed, and I think a lot of people noticed, is when Caitlin would get bullied, nobody would do nothing.
That's right.
Nobody would do nothing. It was like, hey, they didn't know, like, whoa, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe people are doing this to Caitlin Clark. Teammates weren't jumping in there. They bring in Sophie Cunningham. I had no idea. Sophie Cunningham was a black belt at the age of 6.
Yeah. Yep.
Boom!
Wow.
JC Sheldon, that's cute. You want to poke her in the eye, then push her into a boom, maybe thing? Go ahead. I'll take a take foul, and you'll eat the deck a little bit here. And then we'll get out.
Here's where the irony gets thick. Sheryl Swoopes, once known for playing fierce, physical basketball, is now framing Sophie Cunningham as a threat to the game's integrity. This, from someone whose highlight reels could make NFL players wince. Let's be real. This feels like a power move from a former star uncomfortable with the WNBA's shifting spotlight. Swoopes was the queen bee. Now, with Caitlin Clark drawing the buzz, it's suddenly too loud. Sophie's only crime? Playing with backbone. Calling her dirty is absurd. She's not launching bodies into the stands or playing Mortal Kombat under the rim. She's boxing out, setting screens, and holding the line like any tough teammate. It's not ballet, it's basketball.
Girl like Caitlin on your team, and you got a star on your team like Luka or Bron. Yeah, some hitters on that team that'll go hard for the main player. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And as it should. But I think the physical element is just part of the game, man. And I don't know why we keep trying to discount it. But basketball is a physical sport, and that physicality actually comes into play, into how you play. You getting stronger. You know what I'm saying? Of us playing defense on you ain't nothing but you being stronger, being able to be in a distress, situation and then deal with it. You know what I'm saying? So
if Sophie Cunningham is unclean, then the 2004 Pistons were criminals. Caitlin Clark's been treated like a piñata at a toddler's birthday party, and the moment someone says, maybe don't try to break her ribs every play, the moral police show up, complete with ego and citation pad. The irony? A legend known for bruising highlight reels, now painting Sophie as a threat to basketball's purity. Naturally, the internet lit up faster than a Steph Curry 3. Memes flew because this wasn't a teaching moment, it was a petty one. And here's the hypocrisy. You can't celebrate a league built on grit, trash talk, and edge, then gasp when Sophie refuses to play the quiet side character in the Caitlin Clark storyline. She didn't go full Dennis Rodman, she just showed a little fire.
And one thing I like about Sophie is that she's tough. So when Caitlin Clark last week, or not last week, a couple days ago, when Caitlin Clark got destroyed, her girl Sophie came to her defense, and this was the most beast mode thing that I've, with all due respect, I love Caitlin Clark, but she got LeBron James in her. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, that sound right. She got a little bit of LeBron James-esque type behavior. LeBron James literally flops every time somebody touch him. And I think that Caitlin Clark flop a little bit. I'm just saying, she kind of drastic. You know, her eyes, oh, my eyeball. And then they hit her and she fly across the, you know, I don't think that girl that's number 3 ain't that strong. However, kudos to Caitlin Clark. She know how to play the game, right?
The real issue isn't dirty play. It's that Sophie Cunningham, without a legacy label or media polish, dared to get involved. She's not part of the WNBA elite, and that makes her presence uncomfortable for some. While others talk, she's setting legal screens and backing up her teammate, blaming her as backwards logic. Sophie's just playing the game, something a few seem to have forgotten.
Awesome. As soon as I watched it, I was so excited. Let them know is my entire thoughts, because they were trying to body her.
Oh yeah, big time.
They were trying to body her a bit, and she just in their face answers. Sophie Cunningham coming in here too.
She was barking the whole time too, underneath the hoop at that.
When she was grabbing the head.
Is that who she is? She's like an enforcer?
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like she was potentially brought in like a James Johnson type role for Tyrese Halliburton. And it's like, thank God. I think this is a good play.
When someone who once embodied grit now calls it a crime, the irony is rich. Maybe Sheryl Swoopes is auditioning as the league's official vibes inspector, or maybe she's just jealous Sophie's getting airtime without the usual scrutiny. The drama's been stirred, tantrums thrown, and the rest of us are just here for the popcorn. Perhaps it's time for the legends to step back when the biggest issue is a role player simply supporting a teammate on the court. Sophie's tough play looks far dirtier than the elbows Caitlin Clark has taken all season. The math doesn't add up, but the drama only escalates. Swoopes wanted smoke and got a storm of sharp critiques wrapped in nostalgia. Sophie didn't have to respond. Her defense did. Clark keeps sinking threes, standing tall. Yet, instead of celebrating that, the league seems ready to cancel the enforcer and crown Diva Energy King. Pointing fingers from the sidelines won't earn points. It just shows you missed the 2025 bus. Swoopes didn't just stir the pot. She tried blaming the broken cookware after dropping it.
Other media members that have seemingly lost their commentating gigs because of their disdain for the cash cow of the WNBA, that is Caitlin Clark. And maybe, Adam Silver had to have a conversation with Kathy Engel, braindead, and Daniel's favorite word, Kathy Engel, braindead, and let her know you need to deal with this crap because you cannot have these idiots here shredding our cash cow. The only reason people are watching your damn sport.
Cunningham is quietly proving herself, baffling opponents and earning fans with her rise from role player to public figure. She didn't seek the spotlight but isn't backing down. Meanwhile, Swoopes, once a legend, now plays armchair referee instead of mentor. If defending a teammate is a crime, Sophie wears that badge proudly, even as past stars roast her.
It's wild what the WNBA trying to do to Sophie Cunningham. I love Sophie Cunningham because at the end of the day, you supposed to, how I was taught, and me growing up playing sports, we protecting each other, bro. At the end of the day, all for one, one for all. So look, you think I'm gonna keep allowing you to beat up on my teammate and my teammate playing clean ball, but you trying to poke. Y'all literally been beating this girl up.
Don't hold your breath if you're waiting for Sophie to return the clap. Her response, which consists of hustle, defense, and rebounds, is silence. Allow the critics to take charge of Twitter. She will play ball. It's funny that's still permitted. Anyway, let's get back to the real world. Bombs are still being dropped by Caitlin Clark from the parking lot. Sophie Cunningham is still grinning while playing bodyguard. Sheryl Swoopes is still shouting at clouds from the sidelines. Perhaps this will lead to a podcast for her. Or simply more memes, perhaps. The court continues to spin in either case. With or without the historical commentary from Ghosts of Dynasty, the game continues.